We spent our entire lives thinking we knew what the world looked like, where countries were located, how big they were, where we stood in relation to them. We saw this world map so many times that it became deeply ingrained in our minds, unchallengeable, unquestioned. And perhaps it should have stayed that way. But there's a hidden twist that no one told us. This map, the very one that hangs in classrooms and appears on Google, that one is not real. Yep, it's a lie. It messes with sizes, hides vast areas, and pulls the wool over our eyes. Ever wondered why Brazil seems tiny compared to the US, or why Africa looks like it's crammed into a corner? Stick around because I'm going to spill all the secrets. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at the world map the same way again. The map we grew up with has a name, the Mercator Projection, created in 1569 by a guy named Gerardus Mercator, a Flemish cartographer living in a time when maps were hot commodities. He had a simple goal: make navigating at sea a bit easier. And hey, mission accomplished. Sailors could use his map to plot courses across the oceans, no complaints there. But here's the catch. To make his map work, he had to stretch and distort the heck out of the world. And I mean, really distort it. Take Greenland, for instance. On the Mercator map, it looks almost as big as Africa. But guess what? Africa is actually 14 times larger than Greenland. That's a big difference. So why do we keep following this map? You'd think we'd want to see the world for what it really is, right? Well, hold on tight because things get a bit complicated. First off, let's zoom out and take in the big picture. Our trusty world map is like a flat sheet of paper trying to wrap itself around a round orange, aka the Earth. But oranges and papers don't play nicely together. Either the paper rips or the orange gets smooshed. And that's exactly what happened here. The Earth is round, but the map squeezes and stretches countries into wonky shapes to fit them onto that flat paper. As a result, some countries stretch and warp, others shrink into tiny corners. And that's why Brazil, despite being a giant country, looks so small next to Europe. It's not just a visual trick. The map kinda lies to us about the size of countries. In fact, it's a lie we've believed for centuries. Now, before you start losing your mind, let's take a deep breath and chat about something cool. When we look at the world map, we tend to think that every country is nearby, just a hop, skip, and a jump away. But in reality, it's a whole different story. If we measure the distance between New York and London, it turns out to be around 3,400 miles. But here's where things get crazy. From New York to Rio de Janeiro, it's nearly 800 miles. That's more than double the distance. And let's not forget about Tokyo to Sydney. It's over 300 miles. Imagine trying to visit these cities without flying. You'd have to travel non-stop for months on land. Can you picture it? Months of travel? It sounds exhausting just thinking about it. Now let's check out the world map and see how this distance thing plays out. We'll start with the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Cuba. They're all pretty close, right? But hold on. Just because they're close on the map doesn't mean they're close in real life. For example, traveling from Washington, D.C. to Havana, Cuba, takes a flight of over 5 hours. And that's not counting any layovers. Next, let's head over to Africa. Egypt, Ethiopia, and Kenya seem close on the map, right? But guess what? Traveling from Cairo to Nairobi can take over 14 hours with multiple flights. And don't even get me started on Australia. They're so isolated that flying from Brisbane to Perth can take more than 3 hours. But the most surprising part is that countries that seem super far apart are actually neighbors. Take Brazil and France, for example. Brazil is in South America and France is in Europe. At first glance, you'd think they're worlds apart, right? Well, hold on, because the real distance between them is only about 2,000 miles. Imagine that. Just a short hop across the Atlantic Ocean and you're there. But here's where it gets even crazier. Brazil and Portugal, yep, Portugal, are just 700 miles apart. So close. A quick flight, and you can explore both countries. Now tell me that doesn't blow your mind. So yeah, the world map we're used to has its own style. It's all about the cool colors, neat borders, and labels that help us navigate and learn about different countries. But it's not perfect, especially when it comes to showing us how big each country is. Here's where things get interesting. A while back, scientists decided to create a map that shows the world as it really is, with countries that are accurately sized. It's called the Gall-Peters projection, and when I saw it for the first time, I was blown away. It looks kind of weird, like someone stretched the globe by hand. But here's the amazing part. It shows us the true size of countries and how they fit together. Take a look at Africa. On the Mercator map, it looks like it's jammed into a corner, but on the Gall-Peters projection, it's huge. You can fit China, the US, India, and Western Europe inside it and still have room to spare. Now let's focus on Brazil. On the old map, it's tiny next to Europe, but on the new one, whoa, it's a massive country. It's bigger than Europe, the US, and even Russia. And get this, there's still room for more countries like Italy, Spain, and Japan to squeeze in. But hold on a second. Why haven't we switched to this new map? It's more accurate, right? Well, here's the deal. The Mercator map has been around for a long time and everyone's used to it. It's in our textbooks, on our phones, and even in airports. Changing to a new map might cause some confusion, especially for sailors and pilots who rely on maps for their jobs. Plus, there are powerful folks out there who benefit from keeping the Mercator map as the standard. You see, the Mercator map puts countries at the top of the map in a favorable light, making them seem important and strong. And those countries aren't keen on giving up that spotlight. But you know what? We have a choice. We can choose to use new maps that show the world more fairly. Some schools, museums, and even big organizations like the United Nations are doing just that. And guess what? It's making a difference. People are starting to see the world in a different way, a way that's more accurate and inclusive. And here's the coolest part. You can make a difference too. All it takes is a little knowledge and a willingness to challenge the status quo. And here's a mind-blowing fact. The world map we're used to has the north at the top and the south at the bottom. But guess what? It could have been flipped the other way around. It's not like there's a law of the universe that says the north has to be on top. It's just a convention, a cultural decision that we agreed upon a long time ago. And if we decided to switch it up, so be it. There's nothing stopping us. Now imagine if we did. Let's flip the map upside down and see what happens. Countries that are usually at the bottom, like South America, Africa, and Oceania, now appear at the top of the map. It's like a whole new perspective on the world. South America becomes dominant, Brazil takes center stage, and Africa, with its vastness, becomes prominent. The world map we're used to puts countries like the US and Europe at the top, literally putting them in a position of power. It's a subtle message that we absorb from a young age, shaping how we view ourselves and others. But flipping the map challenges that narrative. It gives voice to countries that are often overlooked and puts them front and center. It's a small change, but it can have a big impact on how we see the world and each other. So maybe it's time for us to consider flipping the map. Not literally, of course, but figuratively speaking. It's about time we give everyone a chance to shine. Thanks for joining me on this eye-opening journey. And remember, the world is full of fascinating stuff. So stay curious, keep asking questions, and who knows? You might just change the way we see the world. See you next time.
Attention. Pay very close attention. I'm about to show you something incredible in the next 3.1 seconds. Do you want access to Google certification methodology where you can earn $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, or even more? It's a methodology that very few people know about, a true blue ocean opportunity. Many people are making excellent money with this approach. Remember, this is not easy money. Easy money doesn't exist. This is something Google itself offers, and very few people are aware of it. Anyone can apply this methodology. We present the entire process in an ebook. It's something that has high demand in today's market. A huge opportunity, and you don't need to sell courses or anything like that. Plus, you can do everything from home. The original price of the ebook is $147, but you'll only pay half that, which is $73. Actually, you won't even pay that. The price you'll pay is just $9.97. It's practically free considering the value you're getting, and you'll also get an amazing 100% free bonus. And your risk is zero, because after your purchase, you still have a 7-day guarantee to ask for your money back. We give you access to all the content and the bonus, and you still have the guarantee to get your money back. Hurry and get the ebook at this promotional price, as it could go up at any moment. Click the link in the first pinned comment.